In this video, we're going to find x with a given point and slope. So I'm going to show you 3 ways to solve this problem. Now, first of all, they give you a point and a slope, and they give you another point, but only half of the information. They only give you the y piece. As you know, these come in pairs. So how do we do this? How do we figure out, this x component? Now, this point, to make sure that we understand, this point belongs to this line with this point and this slope. So let's make sure that we understand that. And so one way we can do this is by graphing it. Let's draw this point, or plot this point, and then let's see what we can do with the slope. All right, so 8, -4. Where is 8, -4? That's 5, 6, 7, 8, and then drop 4, -1, -2, -3, -4. It's right here. Okay, and then the slope, right? The slope is 3/1, which is the change in y or the change in x. Now the change in y, this symbol delta, just means that you subtracted 2 numbers, right? From a pair, you would subtract 2 numbers and then change in x in the bottom, right? It's y over x. Other times we'll say something like rise over the run. So you rise and then you run. So right here at this point, if we want to continue drawing dots to create a line, and how many dots or how many points or how many ordered pairs do you need to draw a line? That's right, 2. So here's my point, my starting point, right? I know this point belongs to the line. Now I'm going to draw a positive slope. Now, I don't know, how do I know it's positive? Because it's +3, and positive slope looks something like this. Okay, how do I know this is going up? Just write your name, and you can see it's going this way. Okay, as opposed to going this way. Right? Well, that's a horrible line. Here we go. And let's say I wrote my name, right? Thought that's a pretty neat trick. And you can see my name is going down. So we're not going down. The slope is not going down. It's going up. And how do I know it's up? Because it's a +3. Okay, so it's a +3. I know it's going this direction. And so it's, what is this? Rise over the run. So I'm going to rise 3, right? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Right? Again, 1, 2, 3. So that's right here. And then I got to go over 1. Okay? So again, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I got to go over 1. And that's where I'm supposed to land, right here. So 1, 2, 3, 1 over. Again, I can draw as many dots as I want. So I go up 3. 1, 2, 3, go over 1. Why do I go up? Because it says to rise. How many do I rise? 3. And how do I run? Run 1. Now, why aren't I running to the other way, to the left? Because it says +1. So here's my dot again. I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to rise 3, and then I'm going to go to the right one, which is right here. And I keep going. 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. There it is. Now I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to try to draw a good line here. All right. That's about right. Okay. So I got a line over here. And how do we find this dot, right? This ordered pair, right? It's missing an x. How am I going to discover this? Well, I have some information. It says that it's going to be y is going to be 5. Okay, So here, this is y, right? The y is going up and down this way. And so here it is. Here's the y-axis. So where is 5? It's right here. From the origin, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the dot has to be somewhere over here. So if we look across, right? Aha. We hit this dot. Okay. So this dot is probably x5. Question is, what is x? Well, it's going to be easy. We're going to go down. I'm going to figure it out. Right here. What is this? Well, let's see. It turns out to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. So it turns out to be 11. So x is going to be 11. And thus we have our ordered pair. 11, 5. And we know that 11, 5 belongs to this line. So that's one way of figuring out what x will be in this problem. Now, there are some issues graphing this, and one of them is that unfortunately not all problems are going to be this nice. Okay, sometimes the dots do not land on these grids, right? This gray grid, sometimes that dot doesn't land on that, so it might have to land somewhere else. So it might get a little messy. The important thing is that you can approximately know where this data point will be. And in this case, it's going to be directly at 11. Even if we had to, like, for example, say, right here, let's say 1, right? Where is this going to hit? Well, if we draw a line, right, and here, and then go down here, what's this right here? Well, let's see, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's less than 10, but no more than 10, but it's definitely not less than 9. So it's between 9 and 10, and it looks like it's a little bit more than 9.5. So we can sort of estimate, okay? So that's one of the problems, that you would have to probably estimate the answer if it doesn't land perfectly. Okay, so now let's try to do it another way, algebraically. What's another way of doing this problem? Well, we know that the slope, right, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And if we look at the situation here, we have a point 8, negative 4, and we have another point x5, which, by the way, we know x is to be 11. So if this calculation algebraic method works, we should get 11. But let's say we didn't know that. And then the slope, right? The slope is 3. Okay, so we got this formula. Why not plug it in? So m is 3 equals, and then you have this situation. Okay, so this is x, this one's y, this one's x, this one's y. This is my first point. This is my second point, right? Okay, so y2 is 5. Take away, which is the formula. y1, what's y1? Negative 4. So I'm going to put parentheses. Divided by x2, which is x, which is kind of weird to write. It says x2. What is x2? Well, it's x. Take away, which is the formula, x1. x1 is 8. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. 2 negatives make a what? A positive. So that's going to be 5 plus 4 over x, take away 8. All right, let's move on over here so we can look at it better. 3 equals, because that 3 is not going to go anywhere. So we've got to keep it, equals, right? There's the equals, right? There's the equals. What's 5 plus 4? That's right, it's 9. So that's going to be 9 over x minus 8. Okay, so we need to figure out how to solve for x. Well, we can put a 1 over it, and then we can cross multiply. When I do that, I'm going to put parentheses here because I know this is a binomial. This is together. I'm not going to separate it. So I'm going to cross multiply. So we get 3 times x take away 8 equals 9 times 1. And I'm going to write it out, 9 times 1. Okay, we're still not out of the woods yet. Hey, by any chance, why do we cross multiply anyway? That's right, to get rid of the fractions. All right, so let's multiply this out because we have to do some distributing. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 8 is going to be what? Negative, well, positive times negative is negative. 3 times 8 is going to be what? 24, right? 8, 16, 24 equals 9. Okay, I'm going to solve for x. What do? Got to add 24 on both sides, right? We're not going to divide 3 at this moment. We're not going to subtract 24 on both sides because that wouldn't make any sense. Why? Because I want to isolate x. This has to go away. Now this is going away. This is 3x equals, what's 24 plus 9? That's right, 33. And then we divide by 3, and we get x is equal to 11. And that is the answer that we got previously. So now we have another way of doing it by using the slope formula. Now I'm going to show you one other way. So the next method is going to be by using the y equals mx plus b form. So this is the what they call the slope-intercept form. Why are we going to use this? Well, it's going to help us create the line, and then we use the missing point, right? This ordered pair that's over here. We're going to plug part of it and then find the x value. We're going to plug in y and find the x. So we do have a piece of information, which is 8, negative 4. And we also have the slope being 3. And so this information is going to help us create the equation of the line, just like we did over here, where we graphed the line, and then we found the answer of the point, the missing part of the point. Okay, so this one's x, this one's y, right? So y, let's write this again. Y equals mx plus b. So y is going to be negative 4 equals m, which is 3, and x is what, 8, okay, plus b. And then we need to solve for b. Negative 4 equals 3 times 8 is 24 plus b. And then here we're going to subtract 24, subtract 24. And then we get negative 28 equals b. So our equation is y is equal to 3x minus 28. So the equation of this line we now know to be y is equal to 3x minus 28. That means it has a y-intercept of negative 28, which we can't look over here, right? But if we did, we would find out that this line crosses the x-axis at minus 28. We do know that this line has a slope of 3. Okay, so now that we have this information, we can use our point that we're looking for, right? X comma 5. We have y, but we don't have x. So y equals 3x minus 28. I know what y is. It's 5 equals 3x minus 28. Now I can find what x is. What do? So I add 28. I add 28, right? So 28 plus 5 is going to give me 33 equals 3x. And then I'm going to divide by 3, and we get x is equal to 11. And there's the answer again, right? Now, most likely they're going to want it in the pair 11, 5, right? But you get the idea. So one question usually is asked, how would I know all this? Well, one thing is that the important concepts start to come out. For example, that the slope, right, is some type of constant, and that it's constantly, right, rising and running, rising and running, rising and running. There's a pattern to it. And because of this pattern that you have, right, you'll be able to find other points, which is noticeable in this line here. Another thing too is that when you write the equation of the slope equation, right, that sometimes we don't remember that if you are given, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 parts out of the 5, you could always figure out one of them, right? So this problem, could have been, this case, you're looking for x2, which is this guy, right? Well, what about if you're missing y1, but they give you everything else, right? Then you would have to find y1. Just like you were finding the slope, right? You have to have 2 points. So it's the same idea. It just looks a little bit different, and it broadens your algebra skills too. And then, you have other formats, but somehow, you don't interconnect, right? So when we think of formulas, we don't think about, points, especially points that have missing variables. And so this helps you understand that these formulas, right, these standards, right, this is a slope intercept, they're somehow connected to lines, right? And these lines have dots, infinite many dots. So it broadens your mind. So don't get discouraged. Keep thinking about these concepts and keep working on it.